So, right now I'm going through Oblivion because I decided, you know what? I feel like watching some jank, and there's nothing more hilariously janky than fucking Oblivion. Hell, even the fucking interface could be a little jank. Okay. My sneak skill increased. That must mean there's an enemy nearby. Then here... I'll hold on to the shield for right now. I probably... Yeah, Oblivion is fun. It's one of the few games that I have actually 100%ed. It was one of the games I absolutely loved. I would spend hundreds of hours into this. Fuck you. I would spend hundreds of hours in this. Thought about playing it again recently and had to learn, and I had started to look into mods. Yeah, Oblivion, like, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is the mod thing that people are making that's like Sky Oblivion, where it's Oblivion but with Skyrim's graphics and interface and all that kind of stuff, which I am 100% hyped for. And apparently, Bethesda has recently announced that they are going to or they're going to remake or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like Oblivion again. Which on the one hand I'm hyped for, but on the other hand it's Bethesda. They have not had a really good track record when it comes to games as of late. It's like, yeah, like there's a lot of jank in Oblivion and whatnot. That's why I'm playing it right now. But I don't. Weirdly, the glitches and bugginess that come with Bethesda titles these days isn't really just fun jank. It's just poor design, like things not working or you getting stuck in shit. I probably also spent hundreds of hours in it at one point. Well, I was definitely obsessed with it when it released. Yeah, I was too. I remember the days when fucking horse armor was seen as the most egregious thing ever in fucking gaming, and now it's fucking quaint, and I fucking hate it. I hate how quaint horse armor is now. I'm not even sure if Bethesda's Oblivion remake is real yet or not. I heard rumors of it, but I'm not sure if they're true yet. It's true. They did announce that they are doing a remake of Oblivion. They're doing it in Unreal Engine 5. Because the fact that their engine is so egregiously outdated that a remake would just not go well. Like, from what I understand, Starfield was like the final nail in the coffin for the engine they used. The Horse Armor was at least a bit better than what you got in Knights of the Nine disc back in the day. I mean, at least with Knights of the Nine, you had at least a quest line and an adventure tied into the thing, and you got a fucking house. Horse Armor was just armor for a horse. And it was like $5. All right. Bow ready. Stop it. Get some help. The disc actually came with all the DLC except for the Shivering Eyes, which had a separate disc, and the Castle Home, which came later. Really? The disc came without one of the core things that came with Knights of the Nine. It was definitely not a good path to go down. You are 100% right. Like, honestly, it's just like, I'll admit it. I 100% miss the days when people were absolutely outraged by the idea of having to spend $5 for horse armor in a game. And now we've got it to a point where, oh, this cosmetic line, it's so good, it's only $20 fucking dollars. And it's for like one weapon skin. You can't see me. Like, I was seeing some, like, fucking, maybe, the house you were thinking of was separate. I think it's called Battlehorn Castle. Then, yeah, then I must be thinking a different one. Because okay, so I think what I'm thinking of is not a castle. It was the Temple of the Nine. That, you get as sort of like your home base for, like, the Knights of the Nine DLC. Yeah. I thought it was a castle, but maybe it's like a manor house or something. Yeah, I'll admit, I don't remember Battlehorn Castle, to be honest. Oh, no! That is different, but the castle DLC is actually your own castle. Okay. Admittedly, I never really messed with that. I primarily only got, like, I didn't get the horse armor, I didn't get the, Battlehorn thing. I focused only on the stuff that was story related. So, you know, Knights of the Nine, the Shivering Isles, etc. Because I was not a huge fan of the idea of paying $5 for horse armor, especially since I didn't really use horses. Kind of preferred to go on foot over horses because, you know, horses were interesting. It's actually a bit obscure as it released later unexpectedly. I'm pretty sure it comes with the Steam version now, though, at least. Well, that's good to know. I may come across it then. Ow. Don't you touch me. Don't touch me, I'm sterile! Fuck you! Ah, heal. Goodbye, rats. Goodbye, shaman! Oh, fuck. Ow. You whiffed, bitch! Oh, fuck. That one. Okay, that one didn't miss. Ow. Stop it! I'm trying to heal! Stop cheating! Stop it! You're cheating! Stop cheating! Just die already! Why won't you die? In general, I think things with a lot of extra content are good, and the small nickel type of things are bad. Yes, I agree 100%. Like, to me, I never really minded DLC because at least when DLC first came out, it was very much the situation of, hey, we had some additional ideas that we had that we didn't really get a chance to really do anything with, but, we didn't want to have like take an additional like 2 years to make this stuff, so we released the full game and we decided to add this stuff in later as like an additional thing to where like if you're interested in this, go ahead and like buy yourself a copy or some shit. But now it's gotten to the point to where it's just like, oh yeah, we decided to release the game on our time schedule. It's incomplete. Don't worry, we'll add some DLC to it to actually complete the game. All it'll cost you is an additional $60 fucking dollars. Because that's what it is a lot of the time. Is like a lot of the time nowadays DLC doesn't even really feel like additional content. It feels like cut content that they are basically holding for ransom. Like, it's not like stuff like Cult of the Lamb is one of those few things where it's just like, it's clear they had a full game ready and ready to go, and it's just like they had additional ideas after it was released based off of what people were talking about. And then, because they had those ideas, they were just like, hey, let's just go ahead and make this additional stuff, because this sounds fucking fire. And that's why you get stuff like Sins of the Flesh and whatnot. And then you got the AAA studios, which are just like, $70 for this set of like these set of guns that make it look like they're living dragons that shoot bullets out of their mouths. Like, my god, that was the most egregious thing I'd ever fucking seen in a long time, was Valorant wanting fucking, like, I think it was like either $70 or $100 for a set of skins for your weapons. Yeah, like, AAA has basically become high-priced garbage. Like, every now and then, you might come across a game that is actually really well put together and whatnot, like Red Dead Redemption or GTA 5 or something like that, where there's clearly a lot of effort put into this, but those games are very few and far between. Like, usually a AAA title usually just means that you're getting a incomplete product for a higher price for a glitchier run, and you're basically paying to be a QA tester in a lot of instances. Like, almost every AAA title I hear of nowadays, which is supposed to be... Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the exceptions, not the norm, and it's a game that was a one and done by a non-AAA studio company. Like, Larian Studio is not a AAA company. Like, AAA companies are usually the ones that have publishers like EA and Activision and Blizzard. Honestly, it's not even like, yeah, it's like Baldur's Gate is like AA or something like that, to where it's just like, I would actually honestly argue they're kind of independent, because like, that's the thing, is like, independents are the ones that don't have a publisher they answer to. Like, it's like Silver Studios or whatever the fuck they're called, are like a AA publishing company. Like, Devolver Digital is a double A publishing company. Go. But it's just like the thing is, it's just like on the one hand, I'm frustrated by the state of the gaming industry these days, but on the other hand, I'm not, because at the end of the day, we've been here before. Like, people always talk about how egregious and bad that the AAA studio companies have gotten, to the point that they're claiming that, oh, the gaming industry is going to die. No, it's not going to fucking die. I mean, we've been here before. In 1983, the video game crash of 1983 happened because of similar situations where all these companies were putting in these low quality, fast paced like turnover things to make the most profit as possible. And it resulted in people being pissed off at the overall quality of these things because they were just absolute garbage. And it's like everyone likes, and the thing is, we have, yeah, I think there's still good games out there. They're just in different places. Yeah, because that's where we are. Is like we're in the newest version of the 1983 crash. Because we're in that position the gaming industry was after the release of E.T., to where E.T. is always is always portrayed as the game that like the video game that killed the gaming industry, but it's not. It was just the straw that broke the camel's back, and it's blamed for all these problems because it was this multi-million-dollar budget put together game to be tied in with this super successful movie that had just come out, and it was awful. It was an awful game. It was like, now granted, the development and processes of that game are incredible. The fact that it was done in I think it was like 5 weeks by one dude was honestly impressive. Like, the story behind E.T. for the Atari is amazing, but the game itself was just a symptom of was a symptom of a disease.
Help. What makes you?
To where, the thing is, we've gotten our version of this new generation's version of E.T. It's called Concord. Concord was a title that Sony spent, I think, like $200 million to purchase the rights to the company that made it, plus an additional 200 million to buy the studio, and then an additional 200 million to develop the game and publish it, and advertise for it. And it flopped hard. It was a colossal failure, to where it didn't even last a few days. Well, actually, I think it only lasted 2 weeks at most. Yeah, Concord is a crazy mess to watch. I enjoyed watching it fail. Yeah, I kind of did too. But that was the thing: is Concord is the ET of the millennial generation, I guess you could say. It is the game that was the straw that broke the camel's back. There were so many people that were disinterested with it that it died so quickly, and now all these studios and whatnot are scrambling to try and change things up in order to, try and recover themselves, because they spent all this time and effort on all these live service titles and things like Suicide Squad, Concord, and a bunch of these other things are slowly dying off, while things like Helldivers and Marvel Rivals and things like that are doing successful, and they're not figuring out what is going wrong. And the simple fact of the matter is the fact that they've gotten too greedy. There is a message I always like to say, and I will say this live. Capitalists don't know how to run a business. They know how to make money. I will give them that. They know how to make money, but they do not know how to run a business. Because a capitalist will eventually destroy the business in order to keep making money. And that is where we are at with the AAA studios right now. That is where we were in the 1980s, and that is where we're going to end up here in a little bit, to where eventually there's going to be somebody that's going to come in and sort of dominate the market and basically take over everything. There's going to be a new version of Nintendo. And I think it's probably going to be something like I would say Valve, but I've been wrong on that before. I kind of want to say Devolver Digital, to be honest. Last year did have some bad games: Suicide Squad, Dustborn, Concord, but there were also some good games like Pal World, Doctor Mix, Ring Racers, Critter Cove, and Atlas. Yeah, I'm not saying they're like even back then there weren't like just bad games. It's just the bad out was like the bad drowned out the good. Like there were good games being released during the Atari era, but they were kind of the diamonds in the pile of shit that was the Atari's gaming catalog in 1983. It wasn't until like Nintendo came around and really revamped the whole gaming industry that everything started to turn around and started to make these significant leaps and bounds. But even then, Nintendo did have a lot of like the Nintendo NES did have a lot of fucking complications and problems with it in its library. To where like for every like Mario and Zelda there was like a fucking Action 52 or oh god I Highlight or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. To where there are good games being made. It's just we've gotten to the point to where a lot of the good games are being drowned out by the shit ones because the shit ones are being made by the loudest people, aka the ones with the most money. But I would say we're getting to that point where we're starting to see that shift to where the big companies have gotten yeah, Cheetah Men. Cheetah Men were the only memorable thing to come out of Action 52. No joke. And that was because that was the only one they actually put any effort into. But the collect my thoughts. But we've gotten to the point where a lot of those big publishers, much like Atari back in the day, have gotten to the point where they have sort of backed themselves into a corner because they were so focused on making as much money as possible. They have backed themselves into a corner to where now they're having to undermine and cripple their own gains and their own success in order to keep making those insane amount of money. Because when you have these situations where you keep laying off people every quarter in order every time a game releases in order to increase the money you'll make from the game, you end up with a situation where you have nobody. You have all the people that made your good games gone, and you have nobody left that has any trust in your company or has any job security. So they're not going to they're not going to go in above and beyond to make your game. They're going to do what you want, and then they will just go on to whatever's next. Like not to mention the whole crunch, because like the thing is, crunch has been a thing since even back in the 80s. I know some people like to equate crunch to as like the reason why so many games fail, and it is a symptom, but it is not the thing that causes them to crash. It's the fact that they keep shooting themselves in the foot by getting rid of their talent in order to keep the people that are making the decisions, because they like to think, oh, the person making the decisions is the person that's responsible for this. Nah, motherfucker, it's the people that are actually in there in the fucking trenches putting this game together.